And is it true that you actually, the first scene you shot was a lovemaking scene? Was that kind of scary? And what was it like with your co-actor? There like a ton of people around? Or you just
yeah, well, everybody is always really sensitive and considerate when it comes to these kind of scenes. And I think my approach personally has always been to think of it as just any other scene. I think when you take away the taboo of it, it's actually as difficult or stressful as doing a very emotional scene. Like when I have to do scenes where I have to break down, I get really tense about them or really nervous.
Right.
So I think those scenes, for example, make me much more nervous than something like lovemaking, where I know that there is a certain nervousness about it, which is actually, in all honesty, much more social than an actual psychological anxiety as an actor. Because honestly, you have to just go with the flow of it for it to. The only thing that I keep telling myself is to not think about it, and let the moment where you lose inhibition and you forget that there's a camera or that people watching, and you become one with the other character, the other actor that you're working with, which we do all the time for all other scenes that require that kind of involvement. Even if it's a situation where you're really overwrought, or you're really emotional and you're having an argument with the character, it requires the same thing from you. It requires you to forget that there's a camera, forget that there are unit members over there, and so in that sense the requirement is the same. So I think one of my tricks is to tell myself that it's as uncomfortable or unusual as it would be to play any other scene.
Right.
And for me, honestly, the minute I start doing the scene, I am actually completely uninhibited. I could be naked also and it wouldn't make a difference to me because I don't think about it. So I remember, for example, in this scene, what was unusual was that Zed, who plays Nadir, who I have my lovemaking scene with, he is a Canadian Indian actor, and he had just flown down to Sri Lanka, and this was one of the first few scenes that we were shooting. So unfortunately, I didn't even have enough time to get familiar with him, and so that was the only thing that was a bit of a like something that was making both of us nervous because of that. But again, what happened is we did a blocking of the scene, and in the blocking, I had to I did the whole thing of taking off my kurta, and so I was just in a bra, and I had to all I told myself was that, hey, come on, we all we're comfortable wearing bikinis on the beach. It's the same thing, you know. So, and then it wasn't such a problem, and and honestly, when you and this has happened to me before also, when I've kissed people on screen, you're also you're kind of, even though when I say that you put yourself into it, but you are aware that you're doing it for a part, and if you ask me, I actually will never be able to tell you somebody, like I can't tell you what it felt like, because my mind was too preoccupied subconsciously on the fact that this is a performance.
Right.
So at the end of the scene, if you ask me, was he a good kisser, I won't be able to tell you, because I actually don't have any memory of it in terms of the sensual feeling, you know.
Right, of course.
So
cool. We actually got a bunch of questions on Twitter for you as well, from your Twitter fans. And Rishi Vora wanted to know, do you consider yourself a more commercial actress, or more parallel cinema, or do you not really have to choose?
Well, my answer would be that I consider myself to be an actor that can do everything. But what I feel the world considers, or what has been projected so far, has been that I am an alternative serious actor. So my request actually has always been to try to break, like my request actually, who am I requesting? But my aim has always been to try to break out of that. And sometimes, I do feel stuck. I feel like nobody can imagine me playing anything else, whereas my natural instinct is to be so many different kinds of people. I mean, my own personality and my own history lends me to, I've learned dance for 10 years. I've been a sportsman when I was younger. I'm very tomboyish also. I love singing. I did the musical. Then I've always been considered a clown because of the way I make people laugh. But none of these parts and aspects of me have unfortunately I've not got a chance to show them.
Right.
And so the depiction of me is that I am a serious person and a serious actor. So, and therefore all the roles I've played have always been slightly more mature, slightly more serious, slightly more grave kind of characters. And yeah, I'm really hoping that somebody will have that that vision to kind of break out of that that notion and
give you
I would get that chance. Yeah, I'm saying I mean, if anybody who's known me since I was a kid will know that I would, you know, dance to Bollywood music in front of the mirror, and like even in my dance class, which was a classical dance class, they used to, when we had parties and get-togethers, they would make me dance to you know, songs from Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum and Maar Dala, and I would do all of them the exact steps in that way, and you know, so I grew up on that. But somehow the way the films that I've done and you know what came to me in and what excited me were things that were of one in one mold, and now I'm really eager to break out of that and do something different.